Good evening and welcome to ITV News Central. A 13-year-old boy has been detained indefinitely for the murder and robbery of a woman who was walking home alone after a night out. Charity volunteer worker Glynis Bensley was punched and robbed by Petri Curti and his older accomplice in Smethwick last September.
Their trial was told the pair had been planning a random attack for weeks using text messages to finalise a time and place. After they left Miss Bensley for dead, they tried to sell her possessions to friends. Her family has given their only TV interview to Andy Bevan.
These are the last moments of Glynis Bensley's life. As she walks around the corner, the 47-year-old will be punched to the ground and robbed. Her head will be stamped on and she'll be left to die from a bleed to her brain. The attacker on the bike is 20-year-old Zohib Majid. The other boy, the one who will leave his trainer imprint on her face, is Petri Curti, just 13 years old. Family and friends used to say Dawn and Glynis Bensley were like twins. Even though Dawn, on the left, was 7 years older, the two sisters did everything together, even sharing their home in Smethwick.
She's more than my sister, my best friend as well. You know, I'd help anybody, do anything for anybody.
If you seen one, you seen the other, basically. They did things together. Everybody in the area knew her.
Glynis had worked at a food preparation factory, but in her spare time she did a lot of charity work. This picture was taken during a fundraising event on Ben Nevis. She also regularly volunteered at this British Heart Foundation shop on Bearwood High Street. Some evenings Glynis would pop into her local pubs for a drink and a chat. She was a regular at the Seven Stars, about 3/4 of a mile from her home, and it was here she would spend her last night alive.
Between 12:30 towards 1 o'clock I heard sirens coming in. I thought, oh, something's happened, and then it wasn't till following morning we had a knock on the door with the police.
Glynis left the Seven Stars on Cape Hill at about 11 p.m, heading for her terraced house on Rosefield Road. It's about a 15-minute walk via the High Street and Bearwood Road. But as she turned left at Smethwick Council House, she was punched to the ground at the bottom of Cheshire Road. She was just 500 yards from the safety of home. Pinder Singh lives opposite the spot where Glynis was attacked. That night he arrived home from a bike club meeting and noticed a figure lying on the pavement.
See, like something like that, I think, okay, it's a drunk woman. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's Smethwick, happens quite a lot around here. But then as I got back inside, like literally about 5-10 minutes later, there's like loads of police cars. So from that, I gathered she kind of passed away.
Although the 13-year-old carried out the initial attack on Glynis Bensley, his accomplice was close at hand. Zohib Majid lived here, just yards away at the other end of Cheshire Road. Locals say no one permanently occupied this house, but it was a meeting point for Majid and his friends. One neighbour claims there was often a strong smell of drugs coming from the downstairs rooms. CCTV played at the trial shows that Majid cycled into Cheshire Road seconds behind the boy, helping him to rob Glynis of her money, phone, cigarettes and jewellery. The boy then stamped on her head and the pair made off. It was here in nearby Victoria Park that the teenager later admitted to friends that he'd punched someone and that they'd fallen and hit their head on the pavement. It was an accident, he said. He hadn't meant to do it. He thought he'd attacked a man, and he only wanted to do so in order to get a gold bracelet that they were wearing.
They keep saying, you know, it was a robbery gone wrong. She was in the wrong place at the wrong time. But to us, she wasn't in the wrong place because she's 2 or 3 minutes away from home. She was on her way home. The route she's walked for all them years.
Why do it? Why take her life? Why didn't you just leave her alone? She wasn't doing anything. Why didn't you just let her come home?
5 days after the attack, Petri Curti handed himself in to police. 2 days after that, Majid was arrested. Both were charged with murder, manslaughter and robbery. Curti later admitted manslaughter and robbery, but a jury at Wolverhampton Crown Court found him guilty of murder. Majid denied all the charges, but was convicted of manslaughter and robbery. Today, Majid was jailed for 10 years. 13-year-old Petri Curti was ordered to be detained for a minimum of 12 years. Judge John Warner lifted the usual anonymity given to suspects under 18, saying it was in the interests of public justice.
Whatever they've sentenced, it won't be long enough for me. But I've obviously got to let the law take its course, but they can't give him enough years for me. The longer the better.
They've still got their life, doesn't matter how long. They still get to see their family. their family still get to go and see their son, but we won't get our sister back. So at the end of the day, it's our family who's serving the life sentence.
Andy Bevan with that report. Next to